It seems to me in the same way to find out or come upon this thing called love, which is so heavily loaded, one must inquire into this question of pleasure and desire. You know, we're not trying to suppress desire. The monks throughout the world have tried that. And those so-called religious people have attempted to control desire because some authority, a religious authority, has said, be free of desire. Because desire leads to bondage. So, so-called spiritual people, whatever that word may mean, those people have tried to either to suppress, eliminate, or sublimate it by identifying themselves with a greater desire. But it's still within the pattern, within the area of desire. And what's wrong with a desire? I see something nice, pleasant, striking. By the very looking of it, there is a sensation, there is desire out of that. Isn't that so? Please, this is not a talk. We must. And thought comes and gives that desires a continuity and vitality, and from that there is this seeking of pleasure. I think this is fairly simple, isn't it? The verbal explanation, but the explanation is not the fact, it's not what you discover. If you discovered it, it will become tremendously vital. If I discover how thought strengthens desire by thinking about something which has pleased me, sensually or intellectually or a sunset or anything, by thinking about it, it has strengthened the nature of desire and has given it a continuity, and that continuity becomes pleasure. All our attitudes and values and demands are based on this search for comfort and pleasure. And is it possible for thought not to interfere? Now I see something very beautiful. And there is immediate sensation and a desire to touch it, to hold it, to own it, to possess it. Then thought comes in. And is it possible to look at something extraordinarily beautiful, man, woman, child, tree, a house, a picture, whatever it is, and merely observe without the interference of thought? And when thought interferes, there is a totally different kind of action, as when thought doesn't interfere with desire. You understand? I wonder, right? You understand? When thought interferes with desire, which becomes pleasure, then activity has a different meaning altogether. Action. And when thought doesn't interfere with desire, there is again a totally different action which is not time binding. So all this is, we are inquiring, aren't we, into the nature or come upon that thing which you call love. And we are asking if that love is something not of the same energy as hate. We must bear that in mind, otherwise we will wander away from the central question. And to answer that question, really, one has to, hasn't one, to free the mind from desire and pleasure, to find out. Gentleman asks how. Is there a how? Is there a method? Listen to the questions. Is there a method to free the mind from pleasure? Huh? And the following of a method in order to achieve the result is again based on pleasure. No? So there is no how. There is only a state of listening. And when one listens so totally, this question is answered. You see, first of all, sir, how do you look at anything totally? You say it's not possible, and when you say it is not possible, you have already blocked yourself from finding out. So to find out, you have to look at your own mind, looking at your friend or somebody, or at a tree, how you look at it. Why do we create an image of another and hold it? And is it not possible at the moment of experience to live it so completely, or so let it go through you so that no image remains, no mark remains? Please, these are all questions that are really have to be answered not by words, but by actual direct perception and discovery. And to find out anything new requires tremendous inquiry, meditation. You don't just get it by just coming to a meeting for an hour and thinking one has to work tremendously hard. You do work very hard to earn a livelihood, to go to office every day. But this requires much more alertness, much more careful examination. And one doesn't have the energy, the patience, or the interest, because this is non-profitable. It doesn't bring you any profit, financial or any other way.